listening to The Mark Cox Show. Find everything Mark Cox at 971talk.com/Cox.
We don't think the alt-right has anything to do with the conservative movement. We know that there are those who flirt with it, who maybe don't fully understand it. We'd like them to fully understand that it's something they should have nothing to do with. We won't endorse it, and we won't rationalize it.
Matt Schlapp there from CPAC and the Conservative Political Action Group that's meeting right now. And, in fact, Megan Barth is my guest. She's with ReaganBaby.com, and she's live at CPAC right now. Is that right, Megan?
Well, it's about to start. It really kind of starts tomorrow with some preliminary stuff, and then it really kind of kicks in on Thursday. But, of course, there's always controversy every year, and this year is no different. This year it's Milo, correct? Correct. Milo Yiannopoulos.
You know, I don't know. I listened to the soundbite. I played it, in fact, in the first hour today that everybody's so fired up over. You know, I've never been a big supporter of Milo's style, although I agree with his right to say it in some cases. He might have gone a little too far. Now he's trying to explain it away. But, you know, I guess I could see why a conservative organization like that would want to distance themselves from what he said.
Well, I really don't think it makes a whole lot of sense when you look at it from like a 10,000-foot view. And basically they invited him as a keynote speaker, knowing that he has a very outspoken way, a very apolitically way of speaking, in so much so that he has been banned from certain colleges, and we see riots at others to try to force him out of his speaking arrangement, which they successfully did at Berkeley. So he says some controversial things that may or may not have been taken out of context, that may have or not have been, selectively edited, as the left always likes to say when it comes to voter fraud videos or
right.
to Planned Parenthood videos. But Matt Schlapp, invited him to be keynote, knowing all of this, knowing his background, knowing how he speaks and what he says, and then doesn't really give him the opportunity to defend himself from what I would consider a complete hit job done by many on the right. And it's not the alt-right. It is the right of the never-Trumpers.
Right.
The never-Trumpers will never get on board with this administration. They will do everything they can to undermine this administration, even send out John McCain to a world stage and loosely refer to Donald Trump as a dictator.
Yeah. Yeah, and we talked a little bit about McCain earlier. I'm not quite sure. I excuse that by saying, he's such a member of the establishment that Donald Trump challenges everything that he thinks he's worked for since he's been in Washington, and he just can't stand that. That's the only explanation I can come up with.
Well, let's look at it this way as well. Donald Trump has destroyed so much power. He destroyed the power of the Democrat Party, whereby they thought they were going to waltz in Hillary Clinton. He destroyed the Clinton dynasty. He destroyed the Bush dynasty. And he didn't destroy the Republican Party, but he certainly made them honest. He certainly is making them carry through with their campaign promises, which they have never done, even though we gave them the largest majorities in Congress since World War II in the past midterm elections. And solely based on the fact that they promised to repeal Obamacare, and they did nothing. They even funded it through the House when they had a majority in the House. And so all of this power that Donald Trump has destroyed, including George Soros, who lost $1 billion the day after the election because he shorted the market, thinking that Hillary Clinton was going to go in and we were going to get more of the Barack Obama malaise. And so because of this destruction of power and because he's taken that power now, there are many powerful people that want to bring him down from both the left and the right.
Well, I think what I've heard repeated often is that Donald Trump, and I've repeated, is he's not a conservative. It wasn't all that long ago. You can look at some of his statements and realize that he was probably somewhere on the D side of the spectrum, quite frankly. However, when you look at his administration, he has surrounded himself with people who are. And I see that Kellyanne Conway is going to speak at CPAC on Thursday, correct?
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of that. I think he's doing well. The administration is doing well by paying attention to this.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can say like he's a conservative or a populist or what have you, but really it comes down to actions over words. And we've seen in the first 30 days that his actions have demonstrated a very conservative platform by which, again, Republicans always hide behind the legacy of Reagan and do exactly the opposite because they vote like Democrats.
Yeah.
Look at our border, for example. Ronald Reagan was promised a border when he granted amnesty to 4 million illegal aliens. We never got one. We still have an unfinished border, even though billions of dollars were appropriated to build it, to build a wall. And so he is holding Republicans to account. He's making them honest, and he's testing their conservative mantra, which they have given us time and time again and done the complete opposite.
What do you think about his comments on the media that got so much attention over the last week and this weekend?
I thought they were perfect, and that's one of the reasons why I started ReaganBaby.com, because I was seeing yellow journalism. I wasn't seeing ethical journalism. I was seeing DNC talking points and headlines. I wasn't finding the truth. And one of, the journalists actually have a code of ethics, believe it or not. And within the code of ethics, it basically says, find the truth and report the truth and leave your bias at the door. That's a very simplistic version, but that's basically it. And that's no longer the case. They're printing stories on anonymous sources without really fact-checking their own work, but yet they want to be the fact-checkers. They're putting out yellow journalism in order to get clicks instead of putting out the truth so the American people can decide, based on the facts, what their opinion should be on policy or person. And the press has been involved since the beginning of the Donald Trump campaign in the politics of personal destruction rather than reporting the truth. And no one else has suffered as many blows, I believe. We look at the last 8 years of Barack Obama administration. They didn't challenge the administration on any policy.
No.
They didn't even challenge Obamacare as it was imploding, and 7 million people were getting kicked off their plans, even though we were promised and told by the commander-in-chief at the time that if you like your health care plan, you can keep your health care plan. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. That was a lie. And they were lies given to the American people without any fact-checking from the press or without any sympathy for the American people from the press as to what they were going through.
Yeah, I didn't expect a honeymoon, but, quite frankly, the media hiding behind we're ethics, we're journalists, you can't challenge it. That ship left a long time ago. They abandoned any semblance of fair coverage a long time ago, and I don't have a lot of sympathy for him. Megan Barth, listen, I appreciate your time. Enjoy the website to ReaganBaby.com. I know you're on the radio with Wayne Allen Root. Is that correct?
Yeah. Twice a week I take over the mic for him, and then all next week I'll have it all 5 days for 3 hours a night as he's touring Asia.
That is awesome. Well, hey, we appreciate having you on. Enjoy CPAC.
Thank you so